I'm Allison Jonjak, the Cranberry Outreach Specialist with the University of Wisconsin-Madison Division of Extension. These videos are the on-demand recordings of UW Extension and the Wisconsin State Cranberry Growers Association's virtual brown bag lunch series. These monthly sessions offer growers and researchers a way to share timely and relevant information. We hope you'll enjoy and continue to engage with us.
Hi, I'm Tom Lochner, the Executive Director of the Wisconsin State Cranberry Growers Association. We're excited to be a partner with Extension to bring you research-backed resources, tools, and tips to keep Wisconsin marshes productive and profitable.
With the recording started, I'll give a handful of housewarming announcements before we move on to a welcome from Tom and then hear from our presenters. So welcome to the December edition of the Cranberry Virtual Brown Bag. You should be able to see already transcripts below if you prefer to read rather than listen. If you don't see those, there should be a ... under the more and you can view transcripts. We're happy to have you have your camera on if you want to mute yourself whenever you're not talking. But as we go through the presentation today, if you have questions, you can either unmute yourself and ask a question directly. You can type a question into the chat and I'll ask it on your behalf. You can also, if you want to have a question that's asked anonymously, use the drop down and chat to Allison Jonjak and I will ask that question anonymously on your behalf. With that, I usually, click through our agenda very quickly. Today is going to be Alice de from Quebec on her fireworm timing model. Then we'll have Bruce Eklund give us an update on cranberry statistics. And finally, Gina Seidelli, the new breeder from Rutgers, will be giving us an update on their program and what the future of that looks like. But I want to give Tom Lochner with the Wisconsin State Cranberry Growers Association a minute to welcome everyone and say hello.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Allison. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our monthly brown bag seminar, the last one of 2023. Want to thank Allison for putting these together and also thank our speakers for today's program. Just a reminder for growers, the Wisconsin Cranberry School is coming up in January. The 24th and 25th will be at Wilderness Lodge in Wisconsin Dells. We have sent out the registration materials. There should be a link soon on our website for you to register from there. So that's what we're working on, in addition to some other things related to research and education and funding. But our next big education program will be at the Wilderness in January, and we'd like to invite everybody to be there. Just in closing, wish everybody the happiest holiday season, whatever holiday you do celebrate. We hope you have a good one, and wish you the best in the new year, and looking forward to 2024. So I'll turn it back to you, Allison.
Thanks, Tom, and thanks to Tom as well as the Growers Association for kind of co-hosting these with UW Extension over the course of the year. We're looking at long-term having some of these recorded videos chunked up and in a digestible format for people to be able to access in the future. So stay tuned for that. All three of these presenters were at the North American Cranberry Extension and Research Workers Conference this past August, and so wanted to get to share their work with you if you were not able to make it out to that meeting. Bruce, I will give you the opportunity to share your screen here. And so Bruce is the state statistician in New Jersey, but has a good body of cranberry work amassed for us.
Okay. So in the presentation I gave in New Jersey in August, I mentioned to the growers that it's kind of simple because I just pretty much added up what they told me and I'm presenting it back to them, what they expected their harvest to be back in August, as of August 1st. And so my goal today isn't to really enlighten you with the trends in cranberry statistics, because I'd rather just help you know what's available and how to get there, but I'm not going to show you how to get there because that'd be time consuming. So that you could reach out to me, or I'll mention the other statisticians possibly in your states, and so that you can know what we have and then go explore on your own. But in August, we just have really 4 data points for the forecast of Massachusetts and New Jersey and Wisconsin. and Oregon. And so the main thing, if you were to get anything, I think you're going to get this information emailed, is just to know how to contact me. Like, there's my email, and I can help you find things. And I can try to do it in a way where you're able to find them yourself in the future. But I just want to let you know what's available, give you a general idea. So in August, we just have a simple forecast for the crop. And then starting pretty early next year, we'll start collecting data as a nationwide effort for the non-citrus fruits and nuts. And so that's that'll be released in May, early May. And so let me pull that up. And so here you're going to get a lot more detail, and you're going to get the area harvested, yield per acre, total production, utilized production, price per barrel, and value of utilized production. And then we split it up into the fresh and processed below that. And so I think something important I want to mention here is you see 3 years data in one publication, but these data can be revised. So when you look at the next publication next May, that'll show 23, 22, and 21. 22 may be revised. And I think that's important in cranberries, and I'll mention that to you maybe for a topic of discussion about, with Ocean Spray staggering their payments, do you feel equipped to give your full priced data early next year, or will you still be waiting for the payments to materialize? Okay, so then once every 5 years, we do the census of agriculture. Okay, so for the census, that's going to be released for, this is 2017 data, but we're releasing the 2022 data on the 13th of February. So if you're thinking about that, you can gorge yourself on data on the February 13th and be all ready to impress your Valentine on the 14th. So be prepared for that. But here I pulled up Wisconsin. We have US data. We have 2 volumes, and each volume is split. So the US level data, you could see all the different commodities at the US level. And then the second part of that, you could see the state totals adding up, all the states listed where they add up to the US level. Then on your state level, this is the Wisconsin state level, you see cranberries, and there'll be another additional one that show the counties that add up to the state total. So this is really the detail that comes out every 5 years, and we break out into size, and this size group is based on acres. So you could see that between those growers with over 100 acres and those between 50 and 100, that's a large part of the growers. So, you have 100, about 70 of each of that category. And so there's a lot of detail there. And you can also ask for even more detail, because there's more ways of looking at this than we would ever when we used to make paper copies of this. But then you could ask for, if you say, well, hey, how about showing us this by this? You could ask for special tabulations, and you'll want to get in line pretty fast to do that. But there's a way to request some kind of view that you're not finding here through those 4 different types of view I talked about. Another thing you can do is you can access our data through what we call quick stats. And here you would just select survey, crops, then fruits, and then, find your cranberries. And then you can ask what states you want or what counties you want if the data are available that way. And so you can make a customized view that way. And the last one I'll mention to you is this is something we just have on our New Jersey NASS website. And you can see we have data going back to 1900, where instead of 3,400 acres, we had 9,000 acres and had a yield in 1900 of 11 barrels an acre and got $7 per barrel. So besides that, I just want to mention a little bit about how to have a good, successful relationship with your NASS and state statistician. And so I'm very fortunate that Rutgers invites me to speak when the American cranberry growers meet twice a year. And so I get to spend 2 days with them at the minimum. And they also have me, at their harvest, or I've driven their harvesters or getting in the bogs. And so if you have questions or understand their production, what I like about our jobs a lot, it's a lot of scientific sampling and probability sampling, and we have to do things right. But it's also very important to understand the subject, which is interesting to all of us, I hope, is agriculture. So always learning about agriculture, learning about the marketing challenges, learning about the industry, knowing the people involved is very important for us to do a good job. And so I'd encourage you to try and embrace your local statistician. There's Greg Bussler in Wisconsin, and Dave Loesch in Oregon, and Pam Hurd in Massachusetts, and also Washington. You know, we used to estimate for them, and the director up there is Dennis Koong, Koong. But I really like what we do, and just to mention about the importance of what we do, the first agricultural statistician was George Washington. Back in the day, I guess Congress didn't grant everything that the president wanted, and he wanted ag census, and he was not granted that money, so he did it himself. And if you ever get to go to Mount Vernon there, you can see he was also very much like your like your extension service, because he had all kinds of experimental plots going on in his farm. And then next big guy is Abe Lincoln. He started Ag Stats as soon as the People's Department was created in the 1860. And we didn't get a very good response rate from Georgia back then, but now they're cooperating too. And yeah, it's just very important to know your cranberries, know your farmers. And so I encourage you to work with them. I do kind of feel like we're in the background. We do give data directly to farmers, but a lot of times it's through your extension service. It's through your Farm Bureau that we work. And of course, your state NRCS and Farm Service Agency. And so we're kind of in the background, but you know, there's power in knowledge. So just I encourage everybody to work hard with us to get the right numbers. And so kind of a question I have for you is, we got a question coming in, I believe it was a grower from Oregon that said, well, how could a grower be expected to give the right price when his payments motion spray are rolling out? And I did kind of ask that question. I had actually worked in Oregon before I came to New Jersey, and I was aware of the staggered payments. And we do offer an opportunity to revise the data 1 year back, and then after every 5-year census, 5 years back. And I also understand that recently it was updated and they're paid in a quarterly basis. So when I talked to 3 New Jersey growers about that, I didn't see a problem with that, but we could go back and try and collect 2 years worth of data at once, give you a chance to revise it, or work with Ocean Spray a little more, because we want to do things efficiently. I was going to mention that we also use check data, including what we call check data, Ocean Spray data. That's non-survey data. We're going to look at everything and be efficient and cost effective as possible. So we'll collaborate with anybody who wants to share the data with us, some organization. But I don't know if any growers have any opinions when they get their surveys next year. Will they be able to report the 2023 price accurately, or will they have to wait? And so that's the bulk of my presentation, unless there's questions.
I am happy to take questions here.
I was just going to say, I welcome people. I just encourage people to, look at our data and ask me to help them find our data to do that.
Yes.
You can email me.
And I will be sharing the the links that Bruce sent to all of the places where he provided data from today, so that you can take a look at those, as well as I'll be sharing the access to the model that Alice shared. We've got a question in the chat. How does the USDA collect farm and industry data? With the closure of the CMC, are individual farms required to report to USDA? If you know those answers, feel free to give us the answers. And if you don't know the answers yet, saying that we'll be figuring it out as we go is also valid. So Bruce, if you have any.
Well, I can address that. So traditionally, our surveys are voluntary, but in let's see, 1997, we acquired the Census of Agriculture from the Census Bureau, and that is mandatory, as is what we call the follow-on. So there's organic census that comes subset of that, and a census of horticulture, and a few things. So the census and those follow-ons are mandatory, but we've operated since the 1860s on a cooperative voluntary basis with farmers.
And so I don't know if we have anything to add on that on your front, Tom, or waiting to hear extra information as the future unfolds.
Waiting.
All right. Yeah, there's. I think that is the end of the questions that we've seen come in on the chat. I do want to thank all of our three speakers today for presenting, both originally back in August at NACRU, but also presenting for our Wisconsin Grower Group, as well as everyone else across the world who is able to join us today. For those who are able to attend our Cranberry School, again, the registration for Cranberry School on January 24th and 25th has gone out by email, and I think you'll be able to see that on the WSCGA website soon as well. Hope that everybody has a wonderful Christmas or holiday, and if you have any questions on anything, feel free to reach out pretty well anytime. Thank you, everybody.